What's up, everybody? Today I am talking about the value of association, which is something that I don't think gets too much conversation about, but can drastically change your hero's power levels. So for this, I'm actually going to show you how everything works. So I'm going to pull up my Ban. I am going to press on him, go to association, and here I can see which characters he can link up with for additional stats. So we can go with Old Fart King and Protector of Dolls King, which is just awful. With those, you get an additional 1,220 HP. You also receive the associated hero's basic stats are increased by 5%. And that increase is at default 5%. But for each additional point if I were to say use King, in King's ultimate, that would increase to 6% of Ban's stats, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see this if I go down to Jericho. So I have Adventure Ban and New Generation Jericho. New Generation Jericho has a second tier ult, and so Ban gets 6%. Additionally, you can also see that with Jericho, Ban has a specific extra combined attack on his ultimate. So now he does 400% of attack and extorts 50% of attack and defense for 2 turns. Whereas his default ultimate, let me go back here. His default ultimate move does 350. So he's getting an additional 50% of attack just for that association, which is pretty good. Additionally, he gets the combat class increased by 1,000. So that can be useful in areas like arena. That can be ungeared arena or geared, but chiefly ungeared arena, as well as meeting the stat requirements when you're challenging a level. I leveled up this Ban specifically because I needed to use him on a chapter where the enemy was red and I didn't have a Ban built up, so I built up blue Ban and attached a Jericho to him just for the extra damage. So now I'm going to show you by going to the hero page how exactly that all plays out. So we go to set the team. My bad, hit the wrong button there. So let's swap out Hauser here for Mr. Ban, if I can find him. There he is, under my thumb. Alright, so we're going to remove. So Ban's base stats, 5,469 attack, 2,906 health, 2,906 defense, 61,667 health. Now let's add Jericho. So Jericho would bring him up to almost 6k attack, over 3k defense, and 64k health. But if I were to go to a different Jericho, then it's lower, right? Stats go down. Let's bring it to the other Jericho, and you can see the stats actually go back up. Still lower. If we were to set this and then change it to here, still lower stats. The reason for that is because you have the 6% gain on this Jericho versus the 5%, and additionally, it is based relative to combat class. So if we go back and check out my Jerichos, where are we here? Way down. Okay. So green and red Jericho, level 50, no awakenings, SSR tier. But if we look at their combat class, just over 10k. This is no gear or anything like that. So 10k for green Jericho. And 13k for red Jericho, which is why red Jericho has increased stats, even though they're both at ultimate level 1. So ultimate move, level 1. Ultimate move, level 1. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what happens when I increase the ultimate move of Jericho. So this is the red Jericho. I'm going to skip that animation. Alright, now red Jericho's ultimate is level 2. So let's go back over to Ban. Check the association. Make sure that that has increased like it says it will. So now we go down to Red Jericho, and you see the 5% has changed now to 6%. Alright, now let's go back to class and see if that brings her a little bit more close to the other Jericho. Too many Jerichos. Actually, in my opinion, not enough Jerichos. So actually, the defense is higher, but the health takes a little bit of a hit, and the attack takes a tiny hit as well. Tiny increase to defense and a decrease slightly in attack and health. So what I will say is that if I were to be using Bond regularly, what I would want to do is level up my Red Jericho so that she is maxed out in stats and she is maxed out in her ultimate. And the reason why I would want to use Red Jericho is because she's an SSR unit, and those coins are significantly easier to get than SR. This one's also an SR, so really not a huge deal. So now she's up to level 3. So either of the SR Jerichos are good. I just wouldn't recommend using the SSR Jericho because that will be a lot harder to get those coins. So that one is Green Jericho. So she's SSR. I would not recommend Green Jericho to associate with Bond because it's going to be harder for you to get those coins. Now, she would be more powerful at the end, but again, that's going to take a lot longer and a lot more investment in a hero that you're probably not using. So if it is possible while you're doing the associations, the first thing you should focus on is using those SSR units. So now with Blue Jericho, 7% increase. So let's go back over to the set team screen. And now there's a much bigger disparity between the two, just because those ultimate levels. So I hope that shows you how important these associations are, what you should be focusing on. So you should be trying to go for those combined attacks and try and do it with SR units as much as possible. Unfortunately for all characters, that's not possible. For example, Escanor, the tried and true. So Escanor can associate with any of the Gothers, which is nice, including the SR Gother. But for the combined attack, he can be with Merlin. I recommend the combined attack with Merlin and Escanor, but that is a little bit difficult. Now, I do have an extra red Merlin coin, so I'm going to do the same thing with Escanor to increase the strength of his ult. But again, with Merlin, that's an SSR coin, so those don't come up overly frequent. So let's go here, increase her ultimate move, and so now I can never hit the skip button on those animations. So now, when I set team, let's go to Escanor, remove hero. Now let's see which Merlin gives me the best. So there's 11 point. So let's set here, that is green Merlin. Let's switch to a red Merlin, and because red Merlin is the 6%, now red Merlin is a significant increase. So you're going to want to watch that as well. Whichever ones you get more coins of, that's the one you're going to want to focus the association because you get those additional percentage points. So SR, SSR, all works the same way. It's just easier to get the SR coins. So if you have the opportunity to do it that way, I'd recommend doing it that way. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this clears up any questions you have about associations. If it doesn't, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.